Hi, I'm Scott Vaughn with Create Your Next Customer. Today I have the pleasure of being with Renee Jones, who's the Integrated Advertising and Marketing Director at Sybase. So Renee, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your time and your expertise on Create Your Next Customer. Tell me a little bit about your role at Sybase. You're in vertical market, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of a combination right now, but what I have been doing for the past little over a year is integrated advertising and marketing for Sybase's capital markets group. So we have particular products, CEP, ESP, that basically for the CEP technology. We have products ESP, RAP, IQ. They fit across all different verticals, but we found that our CEP technology is popular within the capital market segment. So we have advertising specifically for that group.
And you really have to have a deep knowledge and understanding of capital markets specifically, even a part of the financial.
I think it's a combination of that, because within my background, I've worked in so many different industries. When you come in, it's if you have a basic fundamental understanding of marketing, you can kind of tap into an audience and quickly develop the research. And yes, you definitely have to have some level of background of the financial services and how it works. But I think it was more about coming in and really a deep dive of who the audience is, what's important to them, and just doing that, developing that research very quickly.
Yeah, you put aside the acronyms and remember that you're still selling to people and professionals, right? So that background. So what are some of the keys to success you see in vertical marketing?
I think really it's the quickly understanding what the market, what's happening within the market, within the industry, what's motivating people, what's their business challenge, and really understanding the audience group as well. From any other aspect of it, it's more about tapping into the customer. Whereas this is really having a strong focus on the industry, because what's happening in the industry is what's going to drive the audience, what's going to make them focused. And what I learned very quickly within the capital markets group is that several years ago, everyone was based on fear. So, well, initially it was greed, right?
Yeah.
So then that's
how
your
Wall
marketing.
Street, greed, I like that.
Yeah, so it was like everything was about greed, how do I make money? So all of your messaging is about making money and advancing in that aspect. Then the market goes away and it's all about fear. So then it becomes about managing your risk, and it's all about the compliance and regulation. So it's a combination of really focusing on what's happening in the industry and how people are reacting to it, and figuring out how to communicate and build a conversation with them around that.
How does that translate? What's going on in capital markets, and where are you focused there?
The focus on what's happening within the industry, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of a combination. With us, it's really kind of focusing on the technology, where there's the risk, there's a challenge within risk and regulation. How am I going to minimize my risk but still being able to comply to all the government regulations that are coming in? How do I be effective? How does that not slow me down? And really, our focus is to really deep dive and understand what those big business challenges are. So it's still this constant learning and education about the audience base. So it seems to be about low latency, really being able to manage your risk, and its regulation and compliance. It was the buzzword of last year, and now it's all about big data. So how do you define that? It kind of makes me laugh sometimes, because everybody's like, big data, and I was like, yeah, I remember that 10 years ago when it was CRM.
Yeah.
Define that for your group. And because there's the business intelligence group that looks at big data a completely different way from a technology IT perspective, whereas big data for capital markets, that's about managing, that's trading and risk, and being able to get your information quickly so that you can move and make decisions and make money on a dime.
So important to keep translating your message down, even if you have it at a corporate level, to keep breaking it down by each audience. So we're going to switch gears a bit. Looking at 2012, we have a new year. What are the one or two things that kind of moved up to the top of your list in terms of priorities and focus points for marketing?
For us, it's definitely within Sybase, it's awareness. Last year we were really heavy on lead gen.
Yeah.
Lead gen and thought leadership. And that's great, obviously supporting and building upon the sales teams. But we have really strong and valuable field marketing teams that is their goal and focus, is really heavy on lead gen. And so this year it is really about getting higher up on the funnel and developing a stronger awareness that will help support the field teams with the lead gen efforts, and taking advertising and having it become a little more succinct and around our product and the value that it brings, and really driving home that value.
You have to tell the story. Yeah, you have to get it out there.
You have to get it out there. And I think the thought leadership aspect as well. I mean, there are brilliant minds within Sybase. And so the articles that we want to have them involved in, we have several different product marketers and product evangelists that are speaking at conferences and speak for Sybase. Well, our advertising needs to support the efforts that they're doing.
Interesting. So thought leadership leading, we all talk about it. But isn't it interesting, we, as an industry, we've swung so far to the lead gen, and we're now getting back to that balance of brand.
Yes.
And still creating demand through lead gen and other tactics.
Absolutely.
Back to integrated, here we are again.
Exactly.
So Renee, thanks for sharing your insights, and you're really the focus on integrated analytics, a lot of good insights here.
Thank you.
So thanks for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
It's been fun.